Okay, welcome back to the cave for another installment of Fishing in the Basement with the River Rats. Today I want to talk about hook baits, all kinds of baits, but we're not talking chumming baits, we're not talking pack baits, we're talking hook baits. And well, as far as hook baits go, there's so many choices, it's mind-boggling. Now, before I go any further, I just want to specify that I'm not sponsored by any tackle company or any bait company. And, you know, this could fall into the category of hoarding 101. But something you got to understand is I've been doing this for years. So eventually it does add up. And I had to experiment through the years to come to where I am now with my favorite baits. And unless I tried all these baits, I would have never found my favorites. And of course, everybody's got their favorites. And of course, those are going to be the ones that you keep on the longest. And eventually they will work. So, again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not trying to promote a specific bait. I just want to share what I've learned through the years and what are my favorites right now. One of the tried and trues has always been mainline baits. They make so many, and there's so many favorites. Now, right now, I'm going to talk about wafters, which have become some of our favorite baits. No matter what it is, I prefer these days using a wafter before I use anything else. Now, mainline baits, high leakage pineapple, essential IB, essential cell, they're all great baits. And they're coming out with new baits all the time. Drives me crazy. Just when I thought I had all my favorites, new baits come out, I gotta try them. I'm sorry, I got a problem. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm not making any excuses for it. When worse comes to worse, we're always going to hit on them baits. Now they're coming up with all kinds of other wafters. Northern Special Wafters, C&C Moore, another very well established bait company. They make excellent baits. So that's Northern Special. DNA, another great company, being well established. See a lot of people using them. Yeah, pineapple banana fluoro wafter. How can you go wrong? Now it's a debate. I think they're just as good as the dynamite bait wafters, but I'm still experimenting. Nash. Didn't get into Nash very much, but I love their idea of the citrus. You know, it seems like last couple years, anything else we've tried that had a citrus flavor, it does have its time. Great baits. So we'll put that aside. DT baits. DT baits, excellent baits. We're still with the wafters. So Superfruit pink wafter. First year I got those, I got a lot of fish on them in the spring. Great little bait. Cold water green beach, pink, another great bait. Puka fish, peach and sour cream, another great bait. En Blend. Some friends of ours from out west, they swear by En Blend. Great bait. Again, wafters. Cold water green beach wafters. They come in so many different colors. This is like a light yellowish brown. Good bait. Superfruit again, and just natural bait. So that's like matching the hatch of the boilies you're chumming with. Great bait. Again, En Blend, white ones. Beautiful bait. So Can't talk about wafters without talking about boosted hook baits. Hardened hook baits. Now this is a bottom bait. Well, I've seen the evolution from pop-ups to wafters. What's next? Bottom baits. Match the hatch. That'll work. Now we are hitting them on bottom baits. Again, we're still with DT. DT boosted hook baits, bottom bait, pineapple. How can you not like it? So I use this boosted bottom bait with a little 12 mil or a little 10 mil pop-up. Makes it a little snowman. Some days that's the only thing that was going. Another great bait. My last boosted hook bait, that would be the Tutti Frutti. Who don't like Tutti Frutti? That's another great bait. Okay, and while we're on the subject of wafters and DT, well, we got to talk about their Take 4 dumbbell wafters. Beautiful little bait. They got all the colors you'll ever need. They got white, they got fluorescent orange, fluorescent yellow, fluorescent pink. Good little baits. A good selection. So okay, that takes care of DT baits. You don't try them all, how are you going to come up with your favorites? You can't always go by what you see on YouTube or what other people are saying, because now, are they trying to promote? Are they trying to sell them? Are they trying to push them on you? This isn't what this is all about. I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. I'm just showing you what I've gone through the years to try to find some of my favorite baits. And of course, we're always looking for that magic bait that's going to work first time and every time. So, again, another good established bait company, Sticky Baits. These are only the wafters right now. That was my obsession last year. Pineapple and Butrick. Pineapple's always good. Buchu berry. Nice little pink color. I love pink in the winter. Peach and pepper. Beautiful fluorescent orange. Beautiful little dumbbell. Wafters. Peach is always good. That's going to work dynamite. And then, well, you can't talk about sticky baits without talking about Manila, which sounds a lot like vanilla to me, and they are vanilla based. Now, vanilla flavor has always been one of my favorites through the years, and anything that says close to vanilla, Manila, good enough for me. And they have them in 3 different colors. They have natural, they have yellow, they have white. How can you not like them? Now they also have what they call the Signature Series. Another good smell, another good flavor. They come in yellow, pink. They can be dyed well. You can put different colors of goo on them. I've taken these little sticky ones and I put almond flavored goo. Corda goo, Kiana goo, call it what you want. Made it a nice pink color. Hey, we hit on it the other day. Another good bait. So that's Sticky Baits. Next, another great company, Munch Baits. Ever since they come out, beautiful little bait. So many flavors, so little time. Now, we noticed a couple years ago when we started using this citrus nut. Some days it was exclusive. Some days we couldn't do anything wrong with that bait. So, of course, well, since citrus nut works, we had to try every size, every color. And it turns out that just this plain old brown match the hatch color was doing it when we had all our other favorite baits going. But there is a time of year, as far as I'm concerned, you can't beat citrus nut. And there's a couple other friends that swear by them now also. And then I got another buddy. He was using the boosted hook baits, which is a bottom bait. And again, He says some days he couldn't keep the fish off of them. So, hey, of course, Munch Baits, excellent company, excellent baits. Before the citrus nut, they had what they call a citrus blend. And the citrus blend was also a really good bait. And this looked like the evolution of the citrus blend. So, can't go wrong. Citrus nut, so put them aside. With all these different companies, you can't forget Dynamite Baits. Another well-established company, as far back as I can remember. They make very good baits. They don't call them Dynamite Baits for nothing. And this little baby right here. The last 4 or 5 years, this pineapple banana wafter. Then there's the Tutti Frutti wafter. And the little dumbbell. Again, some days it was exclusive. And then, well, sometimes you gotta say to yourself, if I only had one bait to use, which one would it be? Would it be high leakage? Would it be pineapple banana? When all else fails, you can't go wrong on pineapple banana. So that's Dynamite Baits. Dynamite Baits, they make so many different kind of baits. Again, your tiger nut, red ammo wafter. Another great little bait. You just got to keep it on long enough for it to work. And then, well, you've got your, I think, Ian Russell, sponsored by Dynamite Baits. He's all about the hit and runs now. Now, hit and runs, they were also sponsored by, I think it was Bob Hughes. I think he come out with this color selector, use certain colors with certain kinds of watercolors, water depths. They are a great little bait. So, for right now, we're going to leave it at that with the wafters. Okay, well, can't talk about hook baits without talking about tiger nuts either. Of course, I had to buy them. I had to try them. Well, I got to be truthful. I've never hit on a tiger nut, but I know a lot of people that have. Okay, so now let's talk about pop-ups. As you can see, there's no lack of pop-ups. Now again, C&C Moore, well-established company. Their pop-ups in 12 mil, 14 mil, they're great baits, great baits. And of course, well, you can't buy one without another. So let's get every color, let's get every size. The pinks, the oranges, this Ester Fruit Cream. You know, years ago when I first started buying C&C Moore, I had, it was called Acid Pear. And I remember a couple occasions in the spring, that little orange acid pear got me so many fish. So of course I had to try anything else orange they had. So there you go, Ester Fruit. Last winter's fishing towards the end of the season, I remember one day I must have got a dozen fish on one single orange Ester Fruit pop-up. So of course I had to stock up. See, there again, we catch on to a good bait. We see it does stand out from the rest. So of course, I've got to buy 2-3 more tubs and stock them up in a drawer somewhere, just in case I need them in the future and we can't buy them anymore. Oh, here's another one, Citrus Zest. Again, that citrus flavor, and that's what Northern Specials, that's what C&C Moore is all about. They all have citrus undertones, and there is something about that citrus flavor that goes a long way. Now here's the acid pear. So of course, after the 14 mil is doing so good, I had to get everything in 12 mil also, because I do like the 12 mil for wintertime. Cold water periods. No, well, not really only cold water periods. I've seen sometimes just one little tiny 12 mil pop-up is out fishing everything else. Now, you can't talk about C&C Moore without talking about Carp Freaks, which is still made by C&C Moore. They come in a pink, they come in a white, It seems like his pinks are a lot pinker than mine, but I hear they have a glug that dyes them even more pink. I haven't got my hands on a glug. And then they also have these little 8mm little pop-ups. They make a nice little topper. They make a nice little snowman for using with bottom baits. Another nice little bait. So Carp Freak, more Carp Freaks. They are a good bait. But let's not forget, it's still all C&C Moore. And I got a feeling that the ingredients might not be that different. Like I said, it seems to me like they all have some kind of citrus flavors in the background. So that's C&C Moore. Let's put those aside. What's next? DT baits, of course. DT baits. So many baits, so little time. Superfruit. Mixed colored pop-ups. Superfruit comes in so many different colors. They're all great baits. Superfruit. Strawberry and condensed milk. Well, I know some other members that do like this strawberry condensed milk after some of their cold water escapades. Great bait. Cold water green beast. Same guy that likes the strawberry also likes the green beast. What's nice about DT baits that I find, they're always coming out with something new, something innovative. They're tiger nut and corn. Now, there are some people that'll swear by that bait. Tutti Frutti DT, cult classics. Tutti Frutti, no matter who makes it, there is a time it's great bait. Again, Superfruit and in 12mm mixed colors. Great bait. Silt Buster. Now again, when I was first year, I was introduced to DT baits. I did one spring with that Silt Buster, nighttime fishing. Oh, couldn't do nothing wrong with it. Great little bait. And it seems like the more I trimmed it and the more I made it into a dumbbell, it caught more and more fish all the time. Great bait. Superfruit again. In the mixed pink, in a 12mm pink. Great bait. Now, banana. No matter who makes a bait, if they make it banana, they sold me on it. If you only had one DT bait to use, that's the one I would choose. Now, the same people that use the banana, they also like the pineapple chunk. Another great bait. And hey, I know some people that caught some personal bests on pineapple chunks. So again, pineapple banana, no matter who makes it, you can't go wrong. But we're talking about DT baits right now. Now they got the Zingers, which is a washed out orange pop-up. Well, again, that citrus flavor, Zingers. It's all good. It's all good. And well, you can't talk about them without talking about N-Blend. Washed out white pop-ups. Again, our friends from out west, they love them. That aside for now. And now let's talk about Munch. They make great baits. Pineapple seed. Great bait. Their Zinga. Again, the citrus flavors. I did really good on these Zingas last summer. In a 14mm, in a 10mm. And some days I was using one little 10mm and I was getting all my hits on the smallest 10mm that I had. So that convinced me. And of course, your citrus nut. Can't go wrong with citrus nuts. Since the wafters worked so good, I couldn't wait to try all the rest of their citrus nut. They all work. Now, whether you're using a pop-up or not, 14mm, 18mm, they're all good. Let's just leave it at that for Munch. They got so many other good baits. Everybody's got their favorites. These are my favorites for now. Put it to the side. Again, with the citrus flavor, Nash baits, they're citras. I see on YouTube some guys swear by them. I get it. It is a nice bait. Again, pink, citrus flavor. I do like that for the cold water period. Had to try them. So now I've got them in 15 mil. I've got them in 12 mil, in pop-up and wafters. Stay tuned. I'll let you know how well they work. Let's go through DNA real quick. Milky Malts. Nice little white pop-up in a 12 mil. They're beautiful. Of course, pineapple banana. Beautiful. Gotta love them. What I like about DNA is that they make them in 15 mil, 12 mil, and 10 mil. And there is a time I do like the 10 mil, which are these little babies. Again, pineapple banana. Can't go wrong. So that's DNA for now. Shimano TX1 baits. There's a good friend of mine, years ago when I first met him, he had these washed out pink ones. They were octopus and squid. TX Shimano baits. This guy hit a lot of fish on them little pink baits. And he's probably one of the only guys I know of that hit 2 mirrors back to back on that pink bait. So of course, I had to try them out. Well, so far, the pineapple banana Shimano TX1s, they're great baits. They're pineapple banana. So let's put that aside. Okay, let's go dynamite baits. Again, Bob uses hit and runs. These are the pinkish pop-ups. Again, there's another friend of mine. That's almost all he uses exclusively. He hits fish. He puts a lot of confidence in them. They're working for him. All the power to them. Tutti Frutti dynamite baits. Beautiful little baits. Beautiful little baits. Now what I like about dynamite is that they'll give you a selection of dumbbells and then round baits. Well, I don't know if it's only me, but I love them dumbbells. Some days it seems like I'm hitting more fish on dumbbells than I am on regular round baits. So what I started doing now is when I put my round baits on, I trim them with my scissors to make them into dumbbells. They work great. Hit and runs. Well, since my friend likes them so much, I had to mass produce. Next, Mainline Baits. Again, another one of my favorites. Another well-established company. High leakage pineapple. Again, my favorite. My favorite. Now, since they work so well, again, they're high vis pineapple juice. These were the baits I was using even before high leakage. They work great. In the 14 mil, in the 12 mil, they're all good. Essential IB. Another great, well-established pop-up. Can't go wrong. If you only had one bait, pick one of these, use it all the time, you're going to hit fish. So now they're coming up with all kinds of new flavors. These little quads, they're interesting. They're like little pillows. They're like little mint candies. They're a pop-up. They make a nice little topper on a bottom bait, or you can use them exclusively on a hair inside of a solid bag. Beautiful little bait. They make them in different flavors. I picked the Essential Cell. Can't go wrong with Essential Cell. Again, more Essential Cells in a 12 mil. Beautiful little bait. Again, I like just one single little tiny bait on my hair, especially in a solid bag. Can't get enough. The fishing hills that, all that's left is a big hook. Hooked every time. Now every year they're coming out with some signature series, special editions. These Calypso Pinks. I thought they were gonna just clean up. Well, you know, of all the baits I have here that I can criticize, I haven't hit on that one yet. So maybe I haven't had it on long enough, but that's okay. So, you know, let's just leave it at that. I won't show you everything else I got because I'm almost embarrassed sometimes. But this is what I've collected through the years. These were all my experiments. And like I said, without being able to try all of that, how would I come up with some of my favorites? I think I've covered most of the boilies I'm using. Now, I guess you can't really talk about all these baits unless we talk a little bit about my history with baits. So, let me bring something out here where it started everything for me. Years ago, hook baits, it was sweet corn. We put a half a dozen sweet corn on a hair, we hit fish. And then, well, it come out with the commercial sweet corn that was flavored. Well, of course, pineapple and banana, flavored sweet corn, depending on all the different companies that make it. Carp Zoom, oh, there's so many companies that make them. They all worked well for us. And then it led to a progression and evolution of using a piece of the flavored corn, real corn, with a piece of artificial corn. And then it evolved to just one piece of real corn, flavored corn, with an artificial corn. And then, well, one day all the real corn got ripped off, so I decided to cast out just a single floating artificial corn. The rest is history. Another one of my top baits when fishing is that tough. One single piece of artificial corn works well. But again, that's where it all started for me, was with the flavored corn. Years ago, we'd open up a can of sweet corn. We would pour in some vanilla. That was our number one bait. Then when we found commercial versions of it, well, again, they caught fish for years. But again, I wasn't satisfied. Always looking for that special bait. Watch the YouTube videos. Pop-ups. Can you really hit in North America on pop-ups? I know they work well in the UK and Europe. Do they really work around here? Well, believe me, they do. I've been outfished by corn chuckers. With all the baits I have here and all the equipment I have, I've seen people move in with a can of sweet corn right next to me with a Bass Pro setup rod, and some days they were the only ones hitting fish. So you can't deny sweet corn. Now here was one I had gotten years ago. I think this is a Hungarian company. They call themselves CUKK. What's that? Cook? Anyway, they had a mussel flavored one. This is probably 10 years old. And you know what? This mussel flavored corn still works. Now, I don't know about today's regulations with the 3-rod rule, anything that says meat, real fish, mussel. Maybe some people would argue the fact that you can't use this with a 3-rod rule. Well, I won't tell anybody if you don't. So again, I think I've covered everything with just my hook baits. So thanks for letting me share that with you. Tight line and be lucky to everybody.